Hello students, today we are going to do the second poem of class 11 from Hornbill titled The Laburnum Top by Ted Hughes. The poem Laburnum Top by Ted Hughes describes the mutual relation between a laburnum tree and a goldfinch. Both of them are yellow in color and quite beautiful in appearance. The poem has been divided into three stanzas. There is no set rhyme scheme. The first stanza describes the tree before the bird reaches it. The second stanza describes the coming of the bird, and the final stanza tells the condition of the tree when the bird goes away. Now let us read the poem. The laburnum top is silent, quite still, in the afternoon yellow September sunlight. A few leaves yellowing, all its seeds fallen. The poet describes his experience of what he witnesses in the laburnum tree. In his words, the laburnum top is silent. The tree is still and looks dead-like in the daytime of September. Even the sunlight is yellow. Due to the autumn season, the tree has lost all its leaves and the seeds are on the ground. In this stanza, the poet uses the image yellow color repeatedly. First, the tree's flowers are yellow, then its leaves have also turned yellow, and the sunlight is also yellow. Over here, yellow represents silence, death, and beauty. Thus, he uses this color and describes the whole setting perfectly. In the whole stanza, the poet is trying to describe the miserable condition of the laburnum tree, which is silent, dying, and without seeds. Till the goldfinch comes with a twitching chirrup, a suddenness, a startlement at a branch end, then sleek as a lizard and alert and abrupt, she enters the thickness and a machine starts up of chitterings and of tremor of wings and trillings, the whole tree trembles and thrills. So after that, poet notices that the death-like scene of the tree comes to an end when a goldfinch bird perches on it. Goldfinch is a bright yellow-colored bird. The bird is quite precautious while sitting at a branch end of the tree and has sudden quick movements. Perhaps it is looking out for any danger that might be there. It then goes into the thick bark of the laburnum tree smoothly but abruptly with alertness. Poet compares the quickness, speed, and alertness of the bird to that of a lizard. As soon as she enters the tree, that is her nest, which is inside the laburnum tree, a machine starts up of chitterings and a tremor of wings and trillings. The image of machine here refers to the young ones of the bird. A machine makes a lot of noise when it starts. Similarly, when the young birds see their mother, they start chirping like a machine, flattering their wings fastly in joy as their mother has come with food. They were hungry as well as sad, being far from their mother. Now the whole tree trembles and thrills because of the mother bird and her young ones. The poet probably wants us to feel how a dead-like tree becomes alive because it has given space to the bird and her young ones. The birds have gotten shelter and the tree in return has got life. It is the engine of her family. She stokes it full, then flirts out to a branch end, showing her barred face, identity mask. The goldfinch is thus the engine of her family, which includes the laburnum tree as well. According to the poet, goldfinch fills them with fuel, that is, it gives food to the young ones and thrill to the tree. Having done that, she again flies to a branch end. Only her dark colored striped face is visible as her body is yellow and thus blends in with the yellow leaves of the tree and hence becomes invisible. The bars on her face serve as mark of her identity. Then with airy, delicate whistle chirrup whisperings, she launches away towards the infinite and the laburnum subsides to empty. Reaching the branch end of the tree, goldfinch makes mysterious and frightening, light, pleasant sound of whistling and chirping, and then begin its journey towards the infinite, that is the sky, and the laburnum tree again becomes silent and dead-like. She keeps flying in and out to feed her young ones. Thus, when she leaves, the tree once again dons its elusive silence. To sum up the laburnum top summary, we learn about the sweet and nurturing relationship between the tree and the bird and how they both play such important roles in their lives. Talking about the literary devices, symbol, there are number of symbols in this poem. The first one is laburnum top. If you remember, we read it in the very first line, laburnum top, and also the title is the laburnum top. It is a symbol of peace and serenity, which is an integral part of nature. Then it says yellow September and leaves yellowing. It is symbolic of autumn and passing age, which brings in its wake decay and loneliness. Goldfinch, it is a symbol of vivacity and liveliness. The next poetic device that is used over here is simile. Simile, you know, it is a comparison of two unlike objects using the word of comparison like or as. So here, if you see the third line, sleek as a lizard. So here, having made sure that goldfinch is safe and secure, she cautiously sneaks into the thickness of the tree just as a lizard nimbly passed through a narrow slit. Then we have another poetic device, metaphor. Here metaphor is, it is the engine of her family. So here he calls goldfinch as the engine of a family because she adds fuel in the sense she provides food to her birds, to her young ones, which is required to be energetic. Then we have number of onomatopoeic words. Onomatopoeia is again a literary device which is used for the sound words. And if you remember, here we have read number of sound words like chirrup, chittering, trilling, whispering, whistle. They are all onomatopoeic words and hence the poetic device onomatopoeia. Then we have alliteration also, like September sunlight in the first stanza. Then we have she stokes, alliteration. Then we have a personification. Personification is in first line. First line, just see what it says, that the laburnum top is silent, quite still. Silent. Laburnum top means human quality is of silence is given to the laburnum tree. Hence the poetic device is personification. So these are some of the poetic devices that have been used in this poem. I hope the poem is clear to you, but still, if you feel any thing that you have not understood, you can ask me in the group. One more poetic device comes to my mind over here. If you see this line, the whole tree trembles and thrills. Again, uh, quality of trembling and thrilling which is associated with living things, it is given to a tree. So the poetic device is personification. Now you may be asked uh, questions on it, the textual questions, that what do you notice about the beginning and the ending of the poem. So the answer would be that it highlights the silence and stillness around the empty laburnum tree. Then it also asks that to what is the bird's movement compared. Yes, I know you must be knowing it, that it has been compared to that of a lizard. The glossy smoothness between their movement is the basis for the comparison. Moreover, the movement is abrupt and marked by the alertness. And the what does the phrase her barred face identity mask mean? As we read, the face of the goldfinch is only partly visible. The bars on her face, they serves as a mark for her identity, and they hide more than they reveal. Means it helps her to conceal her identity in the tree. So, with this, I come to an end of this poem. Hope you liked it. Thank you.